Hold on. Okay. So
Don't laugh, Davene, but everything that needs approval is a blue rectangle.
Okay, we're live.
All right, so we are live, Davene. If you could take over from here, we appreciate you.
I would love to. Thank you, Cathy. I'm so happy to be here. Aloha and welcome. My name is Davene Januszewski, and I'm the CEO of Training Solutions LLC, and I'm also the co-creator of the Master Key Experience. And I'm really grateful and honored to have been chosen to welcome you to our first annual and ever Women's Empowerment Express event. So goosebumps. This has been a vision for the amazing Cathy Hallihan and the CEO of Blackbelt Consulting Group. Love the name. There's an old saying, you guys, and it's an unchanging principle. A rising tide raises all ships. Now, we bring this to you today as our pilot event to empower and strengthen and support the women of the world, and know that we all continue to rise and elevate together. During my 3-decade career of helping people elevate, I recognized the need and importance to support and empower women specifically. I've known Cathy personally for over 10 years, and I've watched and joined in this incredible woman's mission to not only elevate herself and her family while having a positive impact on the world. I watched her strategically plan and execute not only coaching and consulting women in their businesses, but she's creating an entire movement. Watch out, world, because Cathy's already working on her next business in her empire and movement. Today, she's partnered with Angeline, Constant, and you of Let's Break the Silence. This superwoman's mission is to empower women to victor past relationships into a springboard of success and elevation. While we all have a story, Angeline's strength is in encouraging and supporting you to recognize that you are writing each and every chapter, and you can create the journey of your desire. We encourage all of you to donate the suggested donation of $20 or what you can, as these ladies are using the proceeds of these donations to put towards the National Domestic Violence Hotline and the Alzheimer's Association. Now, those are important to all of us, and especially to these ladies. After the event, you'll receive a questionnaire. Please make a difference today and fill that out with your feedback and interests so that we know what to do for further events and topics. That information, it makes all the difference. So we really appreciate you filling that out. So without any further ado, we kick off this event with the amazing Angeline, starting with healing from the past to elevate forward with your future. Welcome, Angeline.
Oh, thank you so much, Davene, and thank you for the wonderful introduction. So happy and blessed to be here today. So for those of you who are watching the live broadcast or watch the replay, my name is Angeline Constantino. So I am a women's empowerment partner and podcast host of Let's Break the Silence with Angeline LLC. And today I'm going to be talking about healing from the past, but I'm going to add something to that. Healing from the past to propel forward and into your future. And the reason why I want to talk about this is this. Once upon a time, I was in a very bad place. I thought I married who I thought was going to be the love of my life. I worked in his business, advertising, direct sales, worked in New York City, made 6-figure income. Story goes on. We traveled, but behind the scenes, behind closed doors, it was not like that. I was the victim of domestic violence, physical abuse, verbal abuse, financial abuse, and the list goes on and on. But I woke up one day and I had a pivoting moment that I made a decision that I was going to write a check to my attorney for $5,000 to start divorce proceedings. And at that time, I pivoted and got myself involved in network marketing. And I got myself involved with a company that changed my life. And I focused on personal growth and development. And I had a mentor. And that was a huge shift for me. That was a huge, huge shift for me. And I focused on self-love, because guess what? Empowerment begins with self-love. That is part of the healing process. So I started to go out by myself. I went to a restaurant. I would go, and self-love can be anything that doesn't cost a lot of money. In other words, going to a coffee shop, having a cup of coffee, journaling. I would bring my journal with me and I would start writing. And I found, this is a journal I keep every single day. So I started to find myself again, find my true identity, because I had lost my identity. And when you lose your identity and pour love into so many people, you start to lose yourself in the process. For example, we've been conditioned as women to believe, oh yeah, we have to give love to our family, which is fine, but like sacrificing yourself, that it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. And through mentorship and coaching, I realized that loving on myself, I'll never forget what my mentor told me. He said, Angeline, when you love yourself, you're able to give love to others. And that was a huge shift for me, because when I was going through the domestic violence and trauma, I lost myself. I literally lost myself in the process. I lost my identity. So during that pivoting moment, I was able to reclaim my identity. And then I worked in corporate America. So I started back in corporate America again. And then last year, an epiphany happened, and I decided to leave corporate America because I said, God has drawn me to working my business, working my passion, having a podcast that I launched 2 months before COVID hit. Let's break the silence with Angeline, because guess what? You all here have a voice. Women have a voice, and your story, there is power in sharing your story. In fact, in 2018, in March, I shared my story with the entire world on Facebook Live. And at that time, I just had a phone. And 7 million views later, my story had a huge impact on 7 million people throughout the world. And I'm talking about the United Kingdom, Australia, Canada, obviously here in the US, but like I had over 1,000 shares. When I woke up the next morning, I'm like, what just happened to me? And here I am, like, so, so for me, that healing process was actually sharing my story too. And putting myself out there. So what I want to share is give the love to yourself first, because you're here today for 1 hour. And I was talking about this last night. You're giving a special gift of self-love. You're tuning in here. You're taking the time to be here for 1 hour, because we're here to empower you that you can live your best life. You can live. There is light at the end of the tunnel. There is life after divorce. And I see so many women who feel stuck. Guess what? You don't have to feel stuck. You just got to take that first step. And that first step for me was surrendering and taking ownership and realizing that I was in a toxic relationship and I had to leave, and I made a plan to leave. It took me 1 year, and I made a plan, and I had 3 goals in mind. So the first step was to take ownership, make a plan, I hired an attorney. I mean, I wrote out my check. It was the last $5,000 that I had in my checking account. But I said, you know what? What good is the money if you're miserable? So I took that initial step. I took that first step, and that was huge. Then getting involved in network marketing with the health and wellness company that changed my life. And I flew to LA 1 year later, 1 year and 1 month later after my divorce, because I made a plan. And making a plan is so important. So I have a question to ask you. If you had to get out of a toxic relationship, what is the one thing that you could do right now? So for those of you who feel stuck, what is that first step? And if you're here on Zoom, please put it in the comments below, okay? Because that's really important. That is really important. What is preventing you from leaving that toxic relationship? And another thing that I worked on is establishing healthy relationships. So what I mean by healthy relationships is surrounding myself with people who are on a higher level than me. Meaning going to the conference in LA, and then few years later, partnered with Cathy in another company, going to conventions, going to events, because events are life-changing, huge. And I didn't care, because like when I started in network marketing, I didn't have much money, but I was very resourceful in finding resources to help me keep afloat, because I was $50,000 in the hole. And guess what? That didn't matter. I said, I'm going to take the bull by the horns and move forward and step into my power. And I'm very proud of myself. So one of the ways that one of the things that I did to establish healthy relationships and personal growth is, number one, surrounding myself with people who are on a higher level than me. And the experiences that I had going to a conference or convention was life-changing. And also, it was just really, really life-changing for me. And the power of setting boundaries. I found my self-worth. I set healthy boundaries. And that's important when you are going through when you are going through a divorce, or any relationship that you have, is to set healthy boundaries, because you are worthy. You deserve that time for yourself. You deserve to love on yourself. And I know in the past, even in my past experiences with my family, some of my family members would ask me to do things that I didn't want to do. And I just finally put my foot down, because guess what? It didn't resonate with me. And I had to love on myself. I had to pour into me, because there's a saying, you cannot pour from an empty cup. So yes. And also for me, I focused on journaling. So journaling is very empowering. And I journal at least 3 things that I am grateful for every morning. So please put in the chat here, what are 3 things that you are grateful for today? I would love to know in the comments. Or if you're watching the Facebook Live right now, what are 3 things that you are grateful for today? The second thing, what is one past experience that you are ready to release? And what lesson did it teach you? Okay, so what I'm going to do is this. So actually, we're coming to the close of my 2 topics. So what was your biggest takeaway? And what is the one quality that you are looking for in a healthy relationship? Put that please in the chat or on the live. And have you ever struggled with setting boundaries? And I just want to say that I want to encourage you here to step up. Right. What good is the money if you're miserable? Thank you. Thank you. And Cathy said, when I released being angry with the man who put his hands on my neck, I could focus on being a better, right, exactly, better mother, woman, and businesswoman. Cathy is a powerhouse. She is a powerhouse. And I've had the pleasure of working with Cathy in corporate America, plus in network marketing. And I can tell you, Cathy, I've seen so much growth in the last few years, and you are amazing. And I love you. And yes, I just, I love being here with you. So I am so happy that you're here. And Anika, oh, look what my life, health, becoming free from toxicity, my sons, my business empowerment. Love it, Anika. Love it, love it, love it. So without further ado, what I'm going to do is let's turn it over to Cathy right now, because she is going to be talking about something that is very important, financial planning, okay? She is going to be talking about financial independence and security and living an empowered life. So, Cathy, take it away.
Thank you so much to both Angeline and Davene, and all the kind words, and to all of our supporters out here. We do appreciate you, and to all people who need to hear some message, any message, even if you get one message out of this entire thing, that means that you made some progress, and we're so grateful and honored for that. So many good nuggets with Angeline, and tying into the financial aspect when she was talking about being, was it $50,000 in debt, Angeline? You can nod your head. Yeah, $50,000 in debt and needing to get out of the situation she was in. That is a lot. And, I also dealt with the opposite. I helped somebody who was getting rid of one of Chicago's richest, at least millionaires, probably a billionaire, and was lost like a deer in the headlights because this person was so young. Like she said, Cathy, I have a prenup and I don't even know what it says. And I was like, step one, we're going to find the prenup and we're going to see what it says. And I said, no matter what it says, if it says you're only getting $1, I said, I am by your side and we are going to get through this together. So I will finish this story so you can hear the happy ending, that it can be tragic in either person's steps. She had tragedy of 50,000 in debt. Here's tragedy of, oh, I have no idea how much money I have because it's really all his, right? So step one. And she told me the other day, I wish I would have done this heavier. And I feel comfortable saying this in this video because the people who are the perpetrators, narcissists, or whatever you want to call them, are not watching our empowerment, right? They're not watching it. So it is okay that I'm going to say this out loud because they're not going to watch it. When I read a book, they're not going to read it, right? So step one is every time that you go to the grocery store, you're going to add a gift card on there. And here's why. If you are in a situation that is this bad, it's not going to get better if you decide to leave, right? They're not going to be happy to hear that. This person is like that to begin with because deep down they have a deep-seated fear of abandonment. So what they do is they turn themselves into a bully to think that you're never going to leave, not realizing that the strong, empathetic woman you are will get to the point where enough is enough, right? So buy yourself some gift cards. What about if you're both equally at the same spot? I don't care. Buy yourself some gift cards. You deserve it. Do it for you. Do it for your kids. How much should I buy? Well, you know what you're dealing with in your financial household. Some people count every single cent, and maybe you can only get away with $5 or $10. Some people might not notice if you do $50. So you need to know what your situation is. But even if it's $5, $10, $15, $20, trust me from personal experience, that will add up. You've got to keep that in a safe space. with a safe person, because nobody wants to go find their significant other with a whole bunch of gift cards. So if you're in the dire hard part and you need to know how to put away money, that's how you do it. That's the hard part. All right. So now let's go back to basic 101. Do you have a source of income? Okay. In the case of Angeline, she was working, right? But it still wasn't easy. In the case of I'm getting rid of a millionaire, she was a stay-at-home mom. And how am I going to make myself self-supporting, right? So Angeline turned to network marketing. I myself supplemented with network marketing too. I had turned down network marketing for 25 years, right? But in my case, what the person was marketing as a service was something I was already doing. So it was a no-brainer. And just to make Davene laugh, I did it all the wrong way. I spammed a bunch of people, but because they saw Cathy Hallihan, and nobody can take away your character, right? People can try and take other things from you. Nobody can take away your character. Nobody can take away your education, right? So people saw Cathy Hallihan. So then they're checking, is this real? Toya asked me the funniest question on the planet that I'm not going to say on a video, but basically, who's the guy who liked me in high school, right? And as soon as I respond, all these people jump in. There was a whole story. Remember, Angeline? Cathy from Chicago, right? So we both did network marketing. It is a great thing in our opinion, not for everybody. I get that. I don't currently do it. Angeline does, right? So everybody does what's right for them. But for me, it was a no-brainer. It was a service I'm paying for anyhow. And why not make money off of it? And obviously, I know quite a few people. So with millionaire wife, I'm going to call her, right? Millionaire wife. And she's like, Cathy, I'm going to go back to school for photography. So when you see those great photos of me, Noah took them. And he says I'm stupid. I'm like, he says you're stupid. Oh, I think he's a little bit confused because artists can make money too. And I'm going to be here for you, and you let me know what you need. And I became her model. It was pretty awesome. And this Mrs. Millionaire, no job, saying who's going to want 1950s Holly Homemaker? And I said plenty of people. Then became the photographer for the Chicago Tribune, the most major newspaper, and for a premier school in Lincoln Park of Chicago. And then started expanding her empire into Pilates and her own business. So Holly Homemaker, if you watch this video, we are so super proud of you, and everybody wants Holly Homemaker. So if you're Holly Homemaker, you can go Holly Homemaker to Badass Business Entrepreneur. Another basic. So we've established how are you going to make your income, right? Have a plan, take action, follow through. Now, once we start getting this income coming in, how do we divide this income? Because we've got to pay our bills, right? We need just a little bit to live life. But what we learned from Angeline in that is it doesn't take money to do that. Angeline did simple things, walked outside, went to the park, or if she did spend money on herself, she went to a coffee shop and not a five-star dinner, because a coffee shop can feel like a five-star dinner when you're just taking a moment for yourself. So you have that little piece. And then we need to start figuring out how we're going to invest or put money away to make our money make money so we can do our own financial growth. We are going to end it there because this is not a financial seminar. This is an introduction to get you to think and to start making a plan. If you need more help on that, you can reach out to any one of us three ladies, the two speakers, Angeline and myself, or Davene is always a helper as well. And if we don't offer the service, we know somebody who does offer the service who will help out. Going on to the next topic of living an empowered life. Yes. Angeline, Davene, definitely living an empowered life. Katie Bolt, I see you. Annika, I see you. It doesn't mean because their screens are off that I don't see the moves that they make in life to elevate. So, anybody can elevate. Anybody can elevate. What your story is just a story. Who you are is who you decide and who you take action to be daily. So as you heard in my financial story, Holly Homemaker, I also like to call her Mighty Mouse, right? He thinks he's got a mouse and he's going to meet Mighty Mouse. So she went from Holly Homemaker to renowned photographer and Pilates instructor and private trainer with her own business, right? Anybody can do this. Angeline went from $50,000 in debt, right? To living her dream life in Stuart, Florida, no longer experiencing the cold winters that I am. I'm following you. I'm on mission winter home. Let that be known, right? Davene was broke and bankrupt in the city of Boston, right? I saw a picture of her husband with the phone down. Chicken, pick up that phone. Just kidding. So the phone is down in this picture because anybody in sales needs to be on the phone, right? And he's sitting there with his leg crossed, sitting back, probably taking a moment to think about how did I end up in this part of my French shithole life? And how am I going to get out and get to my dream of Kauai? And they did one step at a time. I moved from a one bedroom. My son's like, wait, that was a one bedroom? Yes, it was a one bedroom with a den because a den means there's no closet, right? There was no door. And I put up a pressure rod and a curtain because at the end of the day, what kids know is happy. That's why he doesn't even know, right? He doesn't even know. What he remembers are free entertainment. Go watch public transportation. We would just go sit down with a picnic basket and watch the trains go by. We would go to the park. The park is free and it allows you to have nature. What about if you're not thinking of kid friendly? What if you're thinking of adult woman restore? A park is still a fantastic place. You people watch, you see the innocence of the youth and their go-getters and watch them overcome their fears. If a 5-year-old can overcome the fear of monkey bars, you can overcome whatever fear you have too. I promise you, you can. And so that will allow you to restore free. Take a walk near water, take a walk in your mountains, forests, whatever you have. Observe the desert wherever you are. Take that moment in gratitude. If you have a roof over your head, whatever type of roof, say thank you. Even if you're in that spot in a shelter, we're thankful that we got a roof over our head and that there are others out there by our side to support us and uplift us. If you are somebody that you're super successful now and you're looking to get to the next level, I'm not satisfied with where I'm at. I am grateful for where I'm at, but I know exactly where I'm going to. We are with you. We are cheering you on. We want you to add that 0 to your net worth, which I am a specialist at. Become your own hero. You deserve it. You are worth it. Do it for you, and then everybody else who benefits from you, they're getting the gravy on the mashed potatoes, right? But do it for you because you are valuable and worth it. So hopefully you got some takeaways from that. First basic is how are you going to earn money? Second basic is how are we going to divide the money into need, smidge of want, because you got to give your brain a little bit and your heart a little bit, and then invest and save. And then you can shift those things as you have more and more money. I'm sure Davene probably is like, I've heard this sentence a million times because I always drop it. My very first definite major purpose living my financially free lifestyle gives me joy and peace of mind. And I know she knows that sentence because I got it from her. And I said, bingo, that's exactly the same feeling that I want. So it was also my first sentence, and it truly does work. So wrapping up, uh, Davene, I would be curious to see if you got anything out of this. You are somebody with such a plethora of life experience. And obviously, I am a Master Key student. Oh, look at that. Give us one takeaway that you enjoyed.
I loved hearing Angeline because we've never met. This is the first time we've met, which is, I just feel my heart is full. And when you said, what good is money if you're miserable? And if women especially would take that to heart, because even if it's his money, you're still miserable. So what's the point? You know what I'm saying? So I just loved that. I love when women take care of themselves. It is an inspiration to me. And Cathy, you said nobody can take your power and nobody can take your knowledge. Nobody can take away what you know in your head about yourself. And whatever you think is irrelevant to me because I know you're a queen. I know every woman walking this planet is a queen and full of power. And if we were aware of our power, if we understood how powerful we are, oh my gosh, what a world this would be. This would be paradise. It would be. I just know it and I feel it. And the more women that we're able to empower and raise up, the faster that's going to happen. And I'm going to quote one of my favorites, which is Gandhi. And you can look this quote up. Gandhi said, the only way we're going to save this planet is if we empower Western women. And that should give everybody goosebumps because it's true. So that's what I've taken that and much more away from this. And I thank you so much for inviting me. It's absolutely thrilling. I just feel like I'm going to have the best day.
I absolutely love it. I have the exact same goosebumps, and I know that Angeline does too. And why it's cold outside, it is perfectly warm in my house, and I can feel that chill of excitement and empowerment and knowing that we're going to bring more with us. And this is only just the beginning.
Yes.
My dad was a bricklayer, so you start off with the foundation and build brick by brick, right? So I appreciate that. To our attendees that are in the Zoom with us, I will be reaching out to you personally so that way I can get you a Google Doc that you can fill out. You will never hurt our feelings. You can tell us what we did well, and you can tell us our areas of opportunity. I'm going to include on there a bunch of different topics so you can rank, like, this is really important to me, this is somewhat important to me, this is not important to me. So we have further content for the future. The vision is to have more of these events. They will slowly grow longer as we get more involvement and more people and make our movement bigger by bigger, one step at a time. If you would like further coaching, assistance, or to leverage any sort of service from any of our three companies, once again, Davene, if you can raise your hand. Davene did our lovely introduction and wrap up, and she is the CEO of Training Solutions, where I learned how to sell myself aside from in corporate America. And I am a top person in every single thing I do. So I highly, highly, highly recommend them. I did other things before I saw them that are all recommended, but this is the piece to resistance, the best of the best. When I was referred to them, the other person said, we both went to college. Now we're going to like Harvard University to study under these two. And it was a brilliant idea. And I'm very, very grateful for that. I am also a graduate and a lifetime member of the Master Keys. And that is something that's different for everybody, but definitely life elevation and a whole lot cheaper than paying Angeline or I, because she only charges $1 and you get a scholarship. But Angeline and I are for-profit businesses, like most businesses in corporate America. Angeline specializes in coaching those who are victors or emerging victors of domestic violence, because you are nobody's victim. You are a victor, an emerging victor, and you will be exactly where you want to be. So she helps with that coaching. If you need a 911 advocate, that would be me. If you need 911, call 911. Never ever put yourself in danger. If you are looking for business consulting, analysis, data, writing, speaking, hosting, whatever you need, life and wealth coaching, neuroscience, body movement, I am your girl. I am your jack of all trades and master of all. They say jack of all, master of none. But how you become a master of all is you do one at a time, and you do your 1,000 kicks like Bruce Lee. And then you don't stop doing your 1,000 kicks. You're like, okay, 1,000 kicks here. Now let me do 1,000 punches, right? 1,000 kicks, 1,000 punches. All right, 1,000 kicks, 1,000 punches, 1,000 knee strikes, right? So when you're looking to be multidimensional, it doesn't mean they all come at the same time. Then you do fail at everything. It means you do one, you master it, you don't stop it, because a master can lose their master status. You continue it and you add on, right? If there are any other questions, comments, reach out to any of us individually. Davene could easily be found on the internet through the Master Key Experience. If you cannot find it, all you need to Google is hashtag M like master, K like key, E like Edward. Google hashtag MKE and you will find somebody to link you into her. If you need to get a hold of me, I am with Blackbelt Consulting Group, but if you need to find me more easy than that, it is hashtag most fun CEO. I said, do you want the no fun or the most fun? MOSTFUENCEO. Highly recommend when it comes to branding and marketing. Keep it simple, superwomen and supermen. I did that because my son could spell it when I was a single mom in pre-K. So if he could do it in pre-K, so can you. And Angeline, our superwoman, if you don't already have it, you're going to add hashtag superwoman Angeline to your stuff so people can find you. Angeline is Let's Break the Silence, so I imagine she has that hashtag as well. And if you want to jump in any of your other branding, now is your time, or we will wrap it up. You good to go? Okay. Thank you all for joining us. We appreciate you. We will see you, whether it be on the beaches of Kauai, in the country between Chicago and Milwaukee, or in Stuart, Florida, or anywhere else around the world. Take care.
Take
Peace,
care.
everyone.
Take care, everyone. Thank you
you
so much for joining us. Thank you. And
Thank you.
please, ladies, stay in the green room for 1 minute because I am going to stop the recording.
Thank you.